put you on the heart transplant only. And so they said, you must have your cell phone on at all times. You now have to be ready to go at any point that we call you. That means bags packed, a new set of toothbrush, toothpaste, hair stuff, clothes for 7 days, pretty much anything new because you don't want germs from the old stuff. So I had to have everything packed and ready at all times, ready to go. So anytime I got a phone call, I had to be able to take it. And so life changed, not just for me, for my family, for the people around me, to be ready to go at a drop of a hat. And so June comes around, I never got a phone call, so this is about 3 months later, and I go in for another heart cath just to check pressure, see how everything's going. And at this point, I'm supposed to go at the top of the list, is what I was told. And at this point, I was ready to go on the top of the list. I was tired of sitting around with all this medicine. When you can't get up and walk to the refrigerator to get something to eat without picking up your backpack to go with you, it sucks. But at the same time, I was very fortunate in being able to work out and things like that because I saw many people that weren't able to do things like that. So I counted my blessings, but at the same time, it did suck at times. And so I went in there, and I remember him looking at me and saying, so you're going home. And I don't know of a day that I was probably more mad. And I know everybody says, you were mad? You were going to go home. I said, yeah, but I was tired. These machines were wearing on me. And you just get to a point where you just get tired of everything. And so I looked at him, I said, okay, well, we're going to go home. We're going to make the best of it. So I called a friend up, and her husband had just been shipped off, and she was living in Killeen now. So we made plans that we were going to hang out. And I guess we hung out June 28th. 29th, we went and messed around in Killeen. And 3:15 in the morning, last summer, I get a phone call. And I'm thinking, who is calling me at 3:15 in the morning? Are you serious? So I pick it up, and it's my clinic. And they said, so we found a heart for you. They said, you are 3 hours away. They said, book it as fast, or, don't book it, but be smart. But we need you here pretty soon. So I go and knock on her door, and I said, so it's time. She goes, it's time for what? It's 3:15 in the morning. I said, time to go get a new heart? And she was like, oh, okay, let's roll. So we come from Killeen. My mom and my sister are here in Angelo, and so I call them, and they start heading to San Antonio. My dad's in Odessa working, and so he catches the next flight. So as I'm sitting there waiting in the waiting room, of course, I guess to back up a little bit, as I'm driving there, I text everybody I know, don't text and drive, right? But nobody else on the road, so I took the liberties of doing that, and texted everybody, talked to everybody I needed to, and of course the first thing that I thought of is, this is probably the best day of my life, but it's probably one of the worst days for somebody else. And what a huge impact that has. And so, of course, immediately I started praying, not for myself and everybody else that was going to be taking care of me, the people around me, but the family that had just lost somebody. And what a decision they had to make to do this, to be able to help so many other people. And so we finally get to the hospital, and I guess about 2:30 I went into the OR, 2:30 p.m. About 5:30 I had a new heart. About 9:30 my parents saw me for the first time, and they said almost immediately, you could tell the color was back in my face. I was just excited. Just in the little bit of time that I had, I'll never forget. A couple days later, they were taking out the breathing tube and things like that, and one of the nurses came in and she goes, I was just going to tell you, hey, I'm glad things are going well, don't say anything. And of course, as soon as they take that out, first words I said, I was like, what's up? You got me excited, right? You know, you're living now and you're free from everything. And so 9 days later, I was out of the hospital and back home, living and doing and being active as I could. And it pretty much had to keep me down and not running when I wanted to. And so I guess about 12 weeks post-transplant, I was starting to run and do what I wanted to do. And 4 months post-transplant, one of my nurses called me up. She said, "Hey, so there's this donor run that's going on here in San Antonio. It's a 5K. I don't know where you are on running." She goes, "Do you think you'd want to do it? And we could do it together." Well, of course. Let's go for it. So that was probably my first, here, let's go, let's see what we can do. And that's when I realized what I was going to be able to do. And when I got there, I ran faster than I've ever run before. And it was my first race I've ever run before, because I was not much of a race type person. I played goalkeeper in soccer. I was not much into the running by any means. I was okay with just a little bit of running. And so now I have a new leash on life. 5 months post, they finally tell me, "You can go back to playing soccer." I'm stoked. That's my passion and my love. Something that I didn't know that was going to be possible after transplant. You know, when they say crack you open, take care of things, whatever, that's one of those things you don't know if you're going to get to ever do again. Then, I guess about 9 months, I decide, oh, let's try to do a half marathon, because my doctor's wife is a heart recipient of 18 years, and she's trying to start a Shays Wellness Center in San Antonio that will allow donor recipients, to be able to work out and have a nice, clean environment to work out in. And so she said, you know, we're trying to get a bunch of people together to do the half marathon in San Antonio, rock and roll, in November. So I'm like, oh, well, let's see if I can even do it now. You know, see if I'm going to be able to get there at some point. So I just decided, well, let's do it. So I started running, took care of business, ran in the half marathon, and then somebody came to me and told me, "Hey, why don't you try a triathlon?" So why not, right? I mean, it's one of those things I've always thought about doing at some point in my life, even with my old and crazy heart. And so I said, let's try it out. And so I did, and within a week of each other, I did both of those events. And those were probably two of my most exciting times in my life, I can guarantee you. I've also been fortunate in meeting my donor family, and that was a hope and a prayer that I've always wanted to be able to do, to be able to show them that Dylan is living on. He has helped me, and look at what he is being able to do. I went from not being able to do much of anything, now I'm running, being able to do everything I pretty much want to do. And so we now have a connection and talk to each other often. And when I say I've run in all these things, I don't mean I mean we. We have run and done triathlons, and we have done all these things, because I wouldn't be able to do this by myself. And so it's been fun. It's been an experience to see what we've been able to do together and what we will continue to do together, and to be able to show Dylan's family what he has been able to do and help me to do. And he is also able to help 4 other families in his death. And so when I say donation can save so many lives, it really can. And something that's so tragic, it can give life to so many other people. And so now these other people have also gotten in contact with his family and have said, he has given me life. I'm able to do things that I haven't been able to do before, be active. One is also a teacher as well. And so being active has not only carried me through when people told me I wouldn't be able to do the things that I've done, but I think it helped me not have a transplant, I guess, in about the 8th grade. They said that is some of the reason you didn't have to have a transplant because you were so active, you were so involved. And so heart's like any other muscle, and if you work it out, you do well, push through, you help it to become stronger. And so I think being active also through everything that I've gone through helped me do as well as I have post-transplant. And so when I say being active is important, it is very important. And then as well, being a donor, I think, is hugely important. And so if y'all have not signed up to be a donor, you don't know if you're a donor, first, I think that's most important is definitely talk to somebody and let them know that you are a donor, you want to be a donor. And then I have sheets back there in the table that you walk into that has a sheet, because sometimes people think, you know, hey, I have it on my driver's license. It's not always so. We've just started a national registry. And so if you don't know, you're not sure, I always say just sign up anyways, okay? Just so you know for certain that you are a donor, and you will get sent a card that has your name on it that says that you are a donor. And so without donation, without fitness, all that sort of stuff, I don't know that I would be as active as I am now, doing the things that I'm doing now, and been as fortunate and met the people that I've met without fitness and donation.